Hello. In this video, I will be walking us through the KwikSchool Finance application or the KwikSchool Finance module. Managing school fees, payment, and expenses shouldn't feel like a second job or a difficult thing to do for the school. And that is why KwikSchool Finance brings everything, which include invoicing, payments, receipts, and reports into one simple system, as you can see on the screen, built for the school, for parents, and for students alike. I'm viewing it currently as a school. A student can also view it in their own dashboard. They can view their receipt, view the school bank information, how to pay, and all those necessary information. The same goes with the parent dashboard. The parent can also see the list of their children in the school, how much outstanding they are to pay, and they can print out their invoice, view their invoices or print it, view their receipt, and print receipt for any of those children. So let's go to the setting up of the finance module from the admin end. So as the school, we can have all this view and we can navigate through all this menu: fee category, fee structure, printable fee table, invoices, discount, and concession. The system actually gives a whole lot of flexibility to the school accounting system. You can give student discount, concession, even how to pay fee, depends on how the school operates, maybe for a kind of an award. And the payment notification, the school gets notification once the payment is submitted. Payment history, the school can view all the payment history at a glance. And then we have the student directory, the bank account, expenses, and all the rest. The first thing the school will want to do, or we are going to do on this application, is to go to the admin panel. On the admin panel, we will see the finance module. The finance module has a whole lot of sub-module under it, as we can see. But we need to set up certain things to get the account system running. The first thing we want to do is to set the school bank account. We're already familiar with the KwikSchool admin panel. So just set the school account information. You can list as many accounts. You can add bank accounts. Make it if it is primary. If the account is active, they will still know if that account is active. If not, they use the account that is currently active. So that is how to set up the school account. Then the next thing we want to look at is we are not walking through the expense. We shall be doing that in a second video, the expense category expenses. But here we'll go to fee categories. Fee categories. On the fee category, just set up all the fees that the school takes, the category of fees the school takes. For instance, we have books, ICT, PTA, development level, tuition fee, uniform. These are all categories. So you can always add new categories. Remember that your portal comes with a blank category, so you're going to set up everything from the start. So that is the fee category as we've already entered on this particular sample portal. So now the next thing to do is to set the fee structures now. The fee structures. Now I've currently set up some fee structures here, as you can see. And what are the structures? You can see tuition fee grade 11 for first time 2026 and 27 is this amount, and of course is mandatory. You can set fees that are mandatory and fees that are not mandatory. Fees that are mandatory, every student is expected to pay such fee, and those that are not mandatory are optional fee payments. Now we have the tuition fee also for grade 12 and ICT development, and you can see some of them are actually not mandatory, like this ICT is not mandatory. Uniform is not mandatory for everybody, for students that already have uniform and all that. So, but let us set up a new fee structure. This is ICT and all that. Let us just call this excursion. Add fee structure. So we're going to pick add fee structure, student class. Let's say excursion. It could apply to all the classes, but let us just say grade 5 or grade 4. We pick grade 4. fee category. What category is the fee here? You can see we don't have the category already. So if you have not registered all the categories, you can still use this interface to register the category. So I click on add category. I can call this one excursion, or I call it picnic, whichever way you want to call it. So then we can categorize it under order. Then call it picnic and excursion, whichever way is active. Then the term for this term, first term, you can see now is the active term. So I pick that. Then the session, of course, is 2026 session. Then just student excursion for that particular class, student picnic. Let's call it picnic since we have been using that. And we see that's going to cost 35,000 naira. If there's a due date for it, we can enter the due date. They need to pay this money before the end of 17th September. So you set it. If there's no due date, you can leave it blank. So save it, and you can see we have a new category. We call it picnic, and that is the way to add a new fee structure. After adding the new fee structure, what do we do now? We're already set to see all that the school takes from any of this category that we've already registered. Another thing you will notice here is the installment plan. Of course, the school can set installment plan. If you want the parent to pay not more than a particular installment, you can set it so they cannot pay more than twice, or they can pay more than twice. So you can set the installment plan based on particular invoice. So add installment plan. So before we add installment plan, an invoice must have been generated. Here you can see that we already have invoice generated for the following student. So if you are going to give installment for any of the students, you can just set it right from here. The invoice module is where we see all the invoice that has been generated for the students. All these invoices are already generated. You do not need to generate invoice right from here. There's a better way to do it from the finance dashboard. Then notification read status. So you can see all the notifications that have been sent also here. We are going to look at that from the system dashboard so that you get very good clarification from there. Then we can see the payment notification also. The status is going to tell us, okay, this is this, and then it has been read at this date. If we have pending notification, we're going to see all the notification also here. But the major thing for us to set in the finance is just the bank detail, the fee category, the fee structure. Once those ones are set, every other thing can auto run. So you don't need to add receipt from the admin panel. You don't need to add payment from the admin panel. You don't need to add most of all this menu that you are seeing, because you can run it from the system dashboard in the finance module. So let's go to the finance module. We locate the finance and bills. We click on the school finance. Then we are back to this place. Currently, you can see the total income for first term that the school has gotten is this. Total expenses is this. The net profit, of course, if you remove this from this, then the outstanding balance is this. Then you can see it represented in those charts. Then we can see recent payment by this. The debtors list, we can see the debtors list, those that are owing currently. And then we can see recent expenses, of course, that the school has made, that has been paid for. If they are not paid for, you will have seen it pending. So we can record a payment as admin right from here. The admin can record a new payment. Now, how does the admin record a new payment? A student just made a payment and the school has already confirmed that payment. So the admin can record a new payment directly by picking the class and then filtering which of the students just made the payment. Just type the student name or the admission number. It will filter this list because you're going to have a long list of student payments as you continue to enter information there. So we can see that all the students are actually owing currently. So we can record a new payment as the admin. Please know that we are working as the admin. So we can see, record a payment. We can check invoice of that particular students, we can grant a discount even on this, and we can add fee exception. That is, okay, this student should not pay. Before you add fee exception, fee must have been generated. So here, let us record a new payment for this particular student. And then as the admin, look at what we get there. So this is the student Adamu Victoria. Remember, that's the student we just picked now. If you look at it, this is Adamu Victoria. So Chinedu Adeola. If you want to record payment, we just click and say Chinedu Adeola. So you don't need to begin to check all the list of the students so that you don't get confused. Then, for which class is the student paying for? It is possible a student is in grade 2 and is still owing for grade 1 payment. So you pick the grade that the student is paying for, not actually the current grade of that student. So you pick the grade, then select the invoice. An invoice has already been generated for this student. So which is this invoice? So you select the invoice you are making the payment for. Then the amount the school receives, let's say the school receives only 40,000 from this, and it's a tuition fee. You can see all the categories we enter. We can see all the list of the categories we've entered from the admin panel here. So it's a tuition fee, and the payment was made by any of these means. So we say bank, and then it was made on the 18th of August. So we can set the date there. We are entering it as an admin. So here now we can, if there's any transaction ID, we can put it there. Maybe in the notes, let us add the depositor's name. The payment is made for Chinedu Adeola. Let's say the depositor is Mr. Adeola. So we can record this payment straight away. And then we just record payment. You can see the payment is recorded for that student, and receipt is automatically generated. Paid and received 40,000 naira for the student. Your school name will be displayed here. The receipt number is automatically generated. The date it was recorded, this payment was recorded, is generated there. And you can see receipt from Chinedu Adeola. The current class of the student is actually grade 2. So this payment is going to apply to grade 2 for this time, for this session, and all that. So invoice balance is 145,000. Invoice balance after this payment is 105, and then the note is that Mr. Adeola made the payment. You can see through bank transfer, transaction ID, and all that. So this is the way the receipt is generated. But remember, the header is formatted to your school name. So the parents or the students can print this invoice, view the invoice, or make a print of the invoice. You can see we are making a print of the invoice. So that is the way of the receipt. Rather, we are making a print of the receipt. So that is the way to get payment from the admin, make payment for students, and then view the detail of that payment. Let's go back to the dashboard, and we will see that the income that used to be 120 is now 140 because we just made it 140, and all these are already showing on our admin dashboard. As the admin, you can see this payment was actually made in August 18th, and you can see the payment that was made, and we can see the recent payment is that 40,000. It's already captured here, and then the balances of the student, we can see it here. So with this, we've been able to successfully record a payment for a student because the student already has invoice generated. On the dashboard, let's view the fee categories. We've already set our fee categories right from the admin panel. However, we can set it also from the system dashboard in the finance module here. We can set it. Look at all those that we set in the admin panel. They're already here. We can edit them. We can click on edit and edit it, correct information that we need to correct there, and then save or cancel that edit. We can add new category also, add a new category right from the finance dashboard. Then the fee structure, let's use the fee structure menu. The fee structure, you can see the fee structure we enter from the admin panel. You can actually do same from the finance module dashboard here. So you may not need to go to the admin panel to do it. I am using this portal as a privileged admin or as a super user. So you can see grade 2. This is what they are expected to pay for this. And you can see all the fee structure we've set. We can edit them. We can even delete if we had made any mistake. We can delete any of them. We can edit any of them. As you can see, we can edit any of them. Maybe the amount is not 278, it's 279. We can edit it. Then we can add new one. Look at the button up here. So we can add new fee structure. The fee structure is what determines how much a class pays for a category of bill. So we can actually add the fee structure right from here also. Then let us see the printable fee table. Now, after we've added all the categories, all the fee structure, students, parents, and all the stakeholders can actually have a printout of the school fee or the school payment. So as you can see here, grade 11 is paying for the fee category tuition fee. This is what they are paying. Due date is there. If you added due date when you were setting it up, grade 12 is going to pay for this tuition fee. Grade 2 is paying for all these ICT. It says optional, PTA is mandatory, tuition fee is mandatory, uniform is optional. It lists it all that, so that this total is not actually billed to the student because of the optional uniform and the optional ICT fee. What is billed to the student directly is actually the PTA, the tuition fee, which are mandatory. So if the student is paying more for those optional, it will be listed when they are making their payment. Then we have the grade 4. You can see, oh, the only thing that is set for grade 4 now is just the student picnic, and it's 35,000 due on this day. So this is the fee table. You can filter the fee table. You can see you want to see only for grade 2 for this and for this section. So we can actually filter. So we have the one for only grade 2 because you definitely we have several other classes. So you just want to see for your words class or for a particular student class. So we can actually filter it and see this. It can be printed also. So we can print it and see how and have a copy of it for that particular class. So as a student, as a parent, or as the school, so you can have this and just print out and give to maybe for during inquiries and all that. So you can give it out to those making inquiries, or you want to give it out to a particular parent. That's the printable fee table. Then we have invoices, of course. We have a whole lot of invoices that have been generated. This had been issued, this had been issued, this had been issued, and then we can see that this invoice has been paid partially. So you can see all the invoices, no payment for this student and this student. So we can view the invoice also. We can click and view the invoice. You can see the invoice. We can view the invoice. The invoice number is automatically generated. PTA and first time tuition. This is what is due for this particular student. This is the student. This is the academic session, and this is the term and the session. And these are the amounts to be paid. Amount paid so far is 0. So the payments should be made to this particular account. So they see their invoice. The student also see this same thing from their end. So this is the list of invoice. Now let us check discount and concession. Then discount and concession, there are no discount and concession. We can grant discount and concession. So by clicking here, selecting a class, I know we have grade 2, looking for student that is there, maybe this one. We pick tuition fee, and then for every term, for first term or for whenever, so we pick, okay, for every term, this person is going to be having a concession. Then for first term 2026, let's just say that for every session or for a particular session, discount type in percentage, so, or you want a fixed amount. So you can pick either for percentage, or you want to type a fixed amount. So if you want to type a fixed amount, how much are you giving to that particular student? We can say, okay, we have already picked the students, and then how much discount are we given? So we can give, okay, this student is given 5,000 discount. But if you are using in percentage, if we pick percentage, you can see you enter 20 for 20% of the fee. So if you are entering it in percentage of the fee, the total fee for tuition, so you are offering that percentage. So it could be, let's say, 10% of the fee. Just enter 10 for 10%. You don't need to put the percentile sign there. So then the reason for this, we can say, okay, whatever reason that you want to give to it, just pick the reason. The reason is just a timely discount for all students or best performing student last session and all that. So you pick all that, then you save it. So you can give, okay, let us save for this particular student 10% of this tuition fee. Then, well, the reason is just best student last session. So you can see merit, scholarship, and all that, staff award, and all that. So it's a staff award, or it's for any other thing, sibling discount if they are more than one child the parent has in the school. So you state the reason for this discount, then we can save it. So once we save it, you can see we have discounts here. As you can see, we have the discount, the best student last session. That's the reason for this, and the percentage is 10%. And this is the student Victoria Adam. So let us see Victoria Adam, and then we can deactivate it. We can decide to deactivate it. We can, of course, edit it, and we can deactivate it. Remember, we can add more. If we have a list of several discounts here, we can search by students or by the reason the discount was given. So that is how to give discount and concession. Then we have fee exceptions. To add fee exception, please read these tips. It is usually quicker to add an exception from the student directory. So let me click on the student directory. The student directory here takes us to all the students. You can see all the students. We have all the students. So you can see from the action button, we can see add fee exception. So if we click on add fee exception, it takes us the add fee exception button, and we can pick the students already picked because we click in front of a student, the action button in front of a student. So fee structure for which of this fee, the action exclude, do not charge the student at all, or include, charge the student even though it is optional, not default. So you have to set this properly also if you are giving an exception to any student. Then we'll go to the next menu, which is the payment notification. Payment notification. Payment notification is where the school sees every payment notification that has been sent by the student or by the parent. Of course, the student is still the parent. The parent is the student in this portal. So we have this outstanding notification, as you can see. You will always see the notification bell. You always see the notification bell if you have new notification you've not viewed. You are seeing one here. We are having two here because we have actually viewed one of them before this video was made. So let's see, this notification was sent, 33,000 was paid. The payment notification is when payment is made, notification is sent to the school, and the school sees it from here and review it. You review to confirm if that payment actually hit the school bank account. So let's review this, and we have this payment amount paid, and it was paid to this bank, and then there's no transparent payment date was actually this. If the note is there, that's the depositor's name. Very important that they may put the depositor's name there, because most time the student you are paying for is not actually the name that is on the depositor's name. So proof of payment is not provided and all that. So link to invoice optional, or settle the invoice balance. So it can be linked to a particular invoice, this invoice, or if we don't pick any invoice at all, it is going to be linked to the student overall debt balance. Yes, it's going to be linked to the student overall debt balance. So in this case, let us link it to this particular invoice. So on this invoice, we say approve and record the payment. You see, you don't need to specially record payment in this case. Just approve and record the payment. So that payment has automatically been recorded. That 33,000. So if you go to our dashboard, we should see that this has increased also. So you can see that it has increased, and in our new payment, you can see that 33,000. That's the way to accept payment on the portal. You get the notification. This an outstanding notification to a student has just made another payment, and we are going to review it. We are going to say, okay, assign to, if the student has an outstanding invoice, you will always see that. If not, it will be apply to all the outstanding of that particular student. So if we want to even apply it to a particular fee category, so we can tick it. If the information from the parent says that, okay, it's for the tuition, no, it's for uniform, so you can apply it to that. So that will be captured in the note. This note, they would have mentioned it in the note. So approve this payment and record the payment. So, okay, it's for the category. Okay, let us pick the category and say it is for tuition. of all of them. So you can see that we do not have any notification again. There is no notification again. So all those payments are recorded, and for those payments, the student will definitely see their receipt automatically. So from the payment notification, you can see that how the payment notification works. Then we have the payment history. So we can see all the payment history here, where we see the student, we see how much the student pay through this method on this and all that. All the 4 payments or thereabout that has been paid, we can see them here. We can filter the payment by our term, we can filter by session, we can filter by student ID. We want to see a particular student, we type the student ID there, and we can get information from that particular student. So let's view the receipt. Here you can see receipt. So you can see the receipt for this particular payment. The portal generates receipt per payment. It is not receipt. It is not a bundle receipt. It's a receipt per the payment that the parent makes or the student makes. So any payment you make, you get receipt for it, not a summary receipt. You get receipt for every payment that's made on the portal. Then we have the student directory, which we already see here. The student directory just shows us all the students in the school. We can filter them by their classes. If we want only grade 2, and then we filter that. We'll see only students in grade 2 and all that. If we want all the students, of course, we remove that filter. We see all the students in the school. We can record payment for them right from here. We can check their invoice, and we can grant discount or add fee exception. So that is the way to access the student directory. Of course, the bank account, this is the bank account detail of the school. You can practically do everything from the finance dashboard instead of even going to the admin panel. So you can add a new bank account if the school has other bank account. If it is active, you put it. If it is the primary bank account, you check it and you enter the bank account there. Then we have that's the bank account. Then this is expense, which we will capture in another video. Then we go to the debtors list. Debtors list. You can see the debtors list. The school sees that all students that are owing and can be filtered by their classes. It can be filtered by stamp, by session, and you can see how much they are owing. This one, grade 12, owing this, has never paid anything. This is the balance. So this is the way it is viewed. Then you can sync it to the ledger also. Let's sync it to the ledger. So it is synced to the ledger now. So the school can print a comprehensive ledger of the payment. So we can sync it to the ledger. The school can print out this, and you can see the printout of the debtors list, and you can filter it by class. This is printing for all the classes, but you can actually filter by student in a particular class. As you can see, then we can do a print of that. You can see it will print for just that class for students in grade 2. So you can print their debtors list to notify parents. So that is the way the debtors list and the report is displayed. So let's go back to our dashboard to see the next menu. Under report, we see income reports. Of course, we can see the income reports. We can see how total received so far is this. And then the total fee that is paid is this, development fee is this, and then the recent payments so far are all this. So from the admin end, as the school, we can actually use the finance module in this way. It automates every activities. Now, let us look at it from the student end now. As a student, once the student logs in to the portal, this is a student, to the system dashboard. Under finance, you see my bills and receipts. So once you click it, you see this is the finance dashboard for that particular student. This particular student has outstanding payment on an invoice. We can view the invoice, and we can see that this is the invoice. We can note the partially paid tag there. So PTA 15, the student has paid that. Then the first term tuition fee, you can see this student has a discount of 25,000. It is 250. Remember, we actually granted 10% discount when we're giving discount. So it was already captured automatically on their invoice. So the student can see the invoice, and the total outstanding for this particular student is this amount. So the student can make payment. So from here now, we want to make payment as a student, the same way you make payment as a parent. So we have seen the invoices, payments and receipts, of course. This is the payment that this student has made so far. So the student can actually view their own receipt. You can see the receipt, payment received so far, amount received is this amount, and then The amount received is this amount and the balance, as you can see on the receipt. So the student can actually see fee for all the classes. The student can see fee for all the classes as the school roll out the fee for a new term, a new session, whichever the student can see and print and download also. The bank account menu take the student to the bank account detail of the school. You see the list of all the accounts the school uses in this place, and you can quickly copy it here and then make transfer to that account. Then submit proof of payment is the next menu on the student dashboard. Submit proof of payment. Let's assume this student has already made some payment of let's say 60,000 through bank transfer, school bank account that send it to the school has only one bank account for now. So we have transaction ID. If there's anything like that, you can enter the transaction ID. If not, you can leave it blank. And this payment was actually made on the 20th of August. And the session it covers is this, and the time it covers is this. Then if you have attached proof of payment, the parent can upload that file to this. If there's anyone like that, then the note now, in the note, it says include depositor's name in the note. So we can say who deposited this. So the parent can add the name of the depositor for Adamu Victoria. So you can say it's Adamu Mary. That is the mother that made the payment, and that is the name that will be seen on the payment description. So notification submitted. Our finance team will receive your payment proof and confirm it shortly. The student can view the notification. So you can see that this payment is processed and this notification is pending. Now, how will the admin know that this payment has already been sent to the school? We go back to the admin section, the admin dashboard. On our notification, let us just refresh the page and we'll see that there's a notification waiting. You can see now notification waiting from that particular student, Victoria Adamu, and this is the notification. So the school can process this payment. Once this payment is already confirmed that it is made, so you can view the full payment detail, and we can see Adamu Mary paid that money. And this payment, the school can decide to link it to the whole invoice, like I said before, or a particular invoice. So that is the way to do that. Then we go and we pick the category for tuition and we made the payment. So making the payment, we do not have any notification again. So that is the way to move around the payment module. But we'll be looking at it also from the parent dashboard. So let's explore the parent dashboard. This is the parent dashboard. Once the parent logs in, the parent accesses the dashboard and is able to see the list of students that are linked to that particular parent. This is Mrs. Adamu's dashboard, and she has this student and this student. Let's refresh the page and see if any one of them have made recent payments. Yes, you can see at a glance, the parent can see each of the students, the class they currently are, and then the amount they are currently owing. We can see all this, and the parent can view the receipt of payment that has been made, can view the invoices. Let's view the invoice of this, for instance, partially paid invoice. This is how much the student is supposed to pay. This is the amount received so far, and this is the balance payment. So the parent also can access all the information, all the payment they are supposed to make. So the parent can make payment, parent can see the full payment history of their wards and can view all the invoices of their wards. So the parent also can submit proof of payment and view their submission. You can see the submissions that were done by the student actually also reflect for the parent to see. That means either you use the student portal to make the payment or the parent portal to make the payment. The parent will always see the notification that is sent to the school on their own portal also, as the students send those notifications, or as the parents use the student portal to send those notifications. So in summary, with the KwikSchools Finance module, parent can access the finance application, student can access the finance application, and the school can manage the entire finance system. This is basically for payment received from students on any category that has been registered on the portal. So this is how far we go in this video. Thank you.